All right, welcome back. So today in this video we're going to talk about inputs for Python. So we've already talked about printing, things like that, right? Computer science, right? And then it prints that. But we could also, let's say we wanted to add an input to this, and we want to take a couple words and print them out. So that's a little bit different. Obviously we are not entering these. We want our user that's using this space over here to be able to enter what they want to actually print out instead of the programmer actually typing out what's going to be printed to the screen. We want it whatever they want to type in there. This could be a name, it could be a phrase, could be whatever. It could be numbers, things like that. And so what we want to do is we're going to actually create a variable. And we can name these. We're just going to call this A, just to keep it simple. Actually, we'll use A. And if you click equal right here, this basically in Python and pretty much every programming language, I mean, there are some different ones, they code this a little bit differently, but when you use an equal like this, it's going to tell it that this A, whatever we put over here, we'll use actually a different, we'll call it word. Okay, word 1. Whatever we have after that here is going to be, it's going to be given a value. Now I could just give it that value and I could say like this, and then I could just say that I want to print word 1. And if I do that, it's going to go ahead and print out computer science here. So if I run this code, it just prints computer science. Okay, and to prove that this is not just what I had on the screen earlier, I'll put those two together and it's going to print computer science. Now at this point though, what we want to do is instead of just printing that, because that really doesn't do anything for us at this point, we're going to ask for an input and we're going to want it to actually input some information. So when we put input in here now, and if I just did this, it's going to go out and take that whatever's entered into there, and it's going to, here we'll go ahead and add a print here. We can do the same exact thing, okay, and run this. Okay, so see my cursor over here just went blank, and if I type in computer science and hit enter, it's going to print that out and just prints it right below there. Okay, now in programming we don't want to just leave this blank. We want to give it something, give some directions for our user, because our user can't see this over here. Imagine this program's running and there's just nothing over there. Okay, so the person that's using our program, we want to give them some direction. And so within that input right here, we're going to go ahead and use a quotation, and we're going to say please enter a word. Okay, like that. And then I like to put a space after this because they're going to actually type in here. So if I enter this, see how there's a space and now they're going to type in a word. If I don't have a space here and I run this, we'll clear this and stop it and run it again. It's going to be a little bit closer to it. And so I like to add a space onto that. It just makes it look a little bit better. Okay, so after this quotation mark, put a space in there. And then we're going to print that. But instead, and if we run this, please enter a word, we can type in computers. And then it should print that word that we have. Okay, let's say we want to add a second word to this, and so we're going to do word 2, and we're going to do input again, and let's give it some some direction. So please enter another word. Okay, so we've got print word 1, and we could just print word 2 like this. And if we did that, that's totally fine. We could do run code and we can say computer science, and we print that out. It's going to print computer science. Now what if we want to take this word that's entered here and this word that's entered right here, and we want to put them together? Okay, so we can actually do that. Now we're going to have to use a new symbol, and that symbol is called concatenate, and it's actually a plus sign. And so if we did this, it's going to take this word that we entered right here, and it's going to attach it to this word that's entered right here. And this concatenate, basically in Python or pretty much any program, is going to take those two things and just put them together. Okay. Now the one issue with this, and we're going to run this with it this way, is you'll notice there is no space in here. So it's going to put these two and just mash them together. So if we want to run this again, it's going to put them together like this and just kind of mash them together where there's no space. And so, obviously that doesn't look real good. So we're going to clear this over here again. But if you have your concatenate, then we're going to go ahead and put a quotation like this. So we're going to have a little space that we're going to add in here. And then we're going to do another concatenate symbol like this. Now, the computer does not see these spaces in between the concatenates. So we could mash this all together like this. Let's just kind of like this, and it would run just fine. If we run this, it's going to go ahead and add that space in. But for myself and programming, I would add spaces in here because it just makes it a little bit easier. The programming language just kind of skips over this space and doesn't really do anything with it. It's more focused on the variable that you have here, the space that you have here, and then the variable right here. And so it takes those, and it's going to take this variable, and then it's going to add it together with this space, and then it's going to add it together with this variable and put them together. It runs the same way. Oops. Typing is difficult. Like that. And so now you have a space. All right. And it puts them together just like it did before. It doesn't really see this spacing in here. But for a programmer, it makes this a lot easier for you to view and put this all together. So hopefully that helps you, and good luck on your coding, and good luck with the inputs and concatenates.